Okay, so, picture this. It's 2012, you're playing Minecraft on your mom's iPad, wishing to go to the Nether, only to be met with terrible disappointment, similar to that of making an Aether portal in pretty much any moment in history. Everyone's been disappointed by that at least once. But then your friend, Josh, tells you that about this new block that can give you Nether items, because the Nether didn't exist yet. So, this new block, called the Nether Reactor. And now I ask you, have you ever wondered what it would be like if that was in Minecraft today? If Mojang just decided to add it back into the game after so many years as a feature in Minecraft's progression? Well, to put it to you straight, they won't. Probably. I'm not saying anything, but they probably won't go back to it ever. So, instead, I did, with my friend Eggo. Pretty much ever since the beginning of RealmTale, the Nether Reactor Datapack has been a thing. You have probably seen it in one of my videos. My RealmTale series is very incomplete, by the way. It's like, I kind of stopped making YouTube videos on it, and kind of moved over to Twitch for a while, and then also stopped doing that because exams. We don't talk about that. But Josh's series is pretty complete. However, yeah, the Nether Reactor has only come up at the very beginning because it's only an early game item. You don't really use it after you're done in the way we've added it. So now this is an official showcase of it, also updated to 1.19 and fully functional and with extra features that were never explored on RealmTale. Well, that is because they've been added recently, not as they weren't on RealmTale. But yeah, let's go through the Nether Reactor as a full tutorial or showcase of this data pack. By the way, you can download it in the description. And let's begin. But first, speaking of RealmTale, with the server having ended and the second season being just around the corner, I just wanted to say that the door is open and we're happily accepting new players. So if you're interested and would like to join us on our fun adventures, check out the application form linked in the description. Anyway, back to the Nether Reactor. So of course, first things first, the most important part of this entire data pack is, of course, the block itself, the Nether Reactor. Crafting recipe is exactly the same as it's been on Pocket Edition the entire time, until it's been removed. 3 diamonds, 6 iron ingots, and you get yourself a Nether Reactor. Also a cool little advancement, the primitive ways. Of course, we didn't want the Nether Reactor core to be just an item that would do the same thing it did on Pocket Edition. It does, don't get me wrong, we kept it as accurate as possible, but we just didn't want it to be just a useless feature that you can just plump into your world and have fun with. In fact, it's been made into an actual step in the progression to beating the Ender Dragon. Kind of slows down the pace. I'm gonna explain that later. We'll get back to that, but for now, let's just re-experience our childhood with some blocks of cobblestone and blocks of gold. I think I'm gonna like place it here. That's not how you make it. Of course, we're also gonna grab a bunch of tools and armor because we're gonna be going through the old way of doing this. Nether Reactor is gonna stay there. Let me just give me 1 second. Okay, so we're gonna build the Nether Reactor over here. Of course, how it used to be in Pocket Edition. It's as close to it as possible. We've tried to mimic it as much as possible. That's a close-up that I wasn't expecting. To build the Nether Reactor, you would build a cobblestone cross like this, 4 gold blocks in the corners. I messed that up somehow. Place your Nether Reactor in the center, and then you would build up pieces of cobblestone on top of the gold, and then 1 final cobblestone cross on the top. And with that, your Nether Reactor is complete, alongside with its core over here. And this is where it gets fun. This is why I brought armor. If you don't know how the Nether Reactor functioned, well, stay tuned, because you're in for a ride. And those of you who know, you're in for a ride as well. A ride of nostalgia it is. So I'm just gonna go ahead, and there it is. you're stuck in a room. Can I collect my gold? I did not manage to get a single one of my gold blocks back. I was too focused on, well, nostalgia. And immediately you can see that I'm being attacked by some pigmen, or piglins. Anyway, this is the nether reactor has finished. As you can see, we got a ton of loot that is mostly junk with a bunch of bows. I have no idea why there were so many bows in this, but that's how they used to be. Also, you can get with them with enchantments. So yeah, this is how the nether reactor used to work. It would create a giant netherrack spire with the core in the center. The purpose of the spire was unknown because the top of it is completely useless. Like, it doesn't go in use anywhere beyond this starting room here. It's just cool, I guess. Also cool if you want netherrack for some reason, if the nether isn't enough for you. But yeah, and you'd get a bunch of random loot. Also, the pigmen drop feathers, because that's how zombies used to work back in the old days of Minecraft. They dropped feathers, and that is a feature of the pack as well. So yeah, that's kind of the overall loot you'd get. You'd get cacti, you get sugarcane, some seeds, mushrooms, and quartz and glowstone. Out of the nether stuff that you would actually get it's just the quartz and the glowstone and the netherrack, which back then it made sense because like you wouldn't be able to get anything like nether bricks, netherrack, or anything without breaking this spire down. So if you wanted to build with nether bricks, you just have to tear this entire thing down and craft it into nether bricks. But once the nether got added, this became pretty useless, and it technically still is, because the nether is here. We're gonna get back to the core in a second. I just want to show off a special thing. Also, it turned to nighttime because that's how the nether reactor also used to work. It would turn it to nighttime when you start the machine. Where is the moon? Oh, it's probably, yeah, right there. Okay, so now back to the whole nether progression thing. What was I talking about then? Well, let me just show you. All I can do is show you right now, really. I'm gonna take this diamond for later. I will explain in a second. Let's just take all these pairs of flint and steel. But let's go over and light this portal up, because we have to go to the nether. Except, cannot access the nether. It is no longer possible to go to the nether. Just kidding, it is. The nether is not removed because I added the nether reactor. I could make a pack that completely removes the nether as well, just to make it even more accurate. But this version of the pack just adds the nether reactor as another step in the progression. So you would go over here, and as you can see, you cannot access the nether. So yeah, you cannot go to the nether. It's impossible. So that is why a special new item has been added alongside the nether reactor that you can only obtain with the nether reactor. And let's actually go back to our nether reactor and break it out of here. And right, I'm an idiot. You do need diamonds. One sec. Oh wow, I somehow have a diamond pickaxe. We're gonna completely ignore that. I forgot to bring a diamond pickaxe because you do need to get the obsidian. This is another thing. Part of the progression. Oh, you can see the finished core now. Yeah, it's part of the progression now to get diamonds. You cannot go to the nether because, like, the whole purpose of this pack was a bit to break up the pacing of speedrunners, because it breaks up, it just slows down the pace. You need diamonds now to get to the nether, which technically you were supposed to do, but with the whole speedrun portal, which requires only buckets, you don't really need a diamond pickaxe anymore. And this actually makes you have to get a diamond pickaxe and 3 extra diamonds for the core as well. So yeah, what do I want to do with the core now is take our flint and steel and just click on it. And then you get your very own Hell Lighter. It is just an enchanted flint and steel that allows you to open portals. This is definitely not a reference to story mode. Because yeah, they had an enchanted flint and steel, and I thought that would be cool. You need a special flint and steel to go to the nether. And that is what the Hell Lighter is. So, why do I have 4 flint and steel? Wouldn't you have to, like, get only one and then you'd be done? Well, in case you lose your Helllighter, which would also, very important, you cannot go through the portal without it. You also need to keep it on you at all times. Otherwise, if you don't have your Helllighter, yeah, you cannot really go through the Nether either. It was made sort of to, like, prevent players from going to the Nether without going through the core. I don't really know exactly if that's the best course of action, but that's what we decided to do. Now that we've established that you need a Helllighter and you would want more in case you would lose it for some reason. Look, I don't have it anymore. You'd want to go back to your core and make more. And you can make more, and you can make more until, whoops, you ran out of forges. It has a limited use, 3 forges only per recharge. You get 3 Helllighters per core. If you ran out of forges, you need to either make a new one, which would cost you 3 diamonds, or alternatively, go mine for gold and reignite, I guess you could say, the Nether Reactor. Of course, this takes a little bit because I didn't get an enchanted diamond pickaxe. One sec. To reignite the Nether Reactor core, or to reactivate it, you would want to go ahead and break the structure of obsidian back into the shape of how it used to be out of cobblestone. You can sort of see what I'm doing here. I'm just leaving the bottom cross, the top cross, and these 4 corner blocks, and then you'd place back your gold blocks. Thankfully, I brought enough, because otherwise I would be screwed. Because I didn't get to save a single one of them. To do that, you need to hold the diamond and go to the core. It's a nice exchange, in my opinion. Let me just quickly get... I managed to save 3 gold blocks. See, that's how you do it. Yeah, let's go through this one more time. Like, if I stand around a little bit, they will despawn all at the same time. There you go. They all disappear. Anyway, I filled up my inventory with bows. Give me 1 second to dispose of all these, because we don't need this many bows. Okay, this is just a bit to show you the general loot that you would get. You'd get about a stack of quartz, about like 3/4 of a stack of glowstone, I think. Seeds, like around 20 seeds, around 20 something mushrooms, around 25, 20, I guess 20 of each of these overworld items. Also bowls. How could I forget the existence of bowls? Also around the same. So yeah, these are around 20 each. These I'm not entirely sure. I'm just gonna split this in half. That is not splitting it in half. Forget about it. About a stack of quartz and feathers, 1 per pigman that you kill. Helllighters, like I said, 3 per restock. And you can go ahead and go back. I need to... Wow, that's fast. I forgot that's fast. Okay, you can go back, and if you click on it, it tells you exactly all you need to know. That you have 3 forges, like, it tells you the amount of forges you have, and that you need 1 diamond if you want to reactivate it. You can recharge it whenever you want. You don't have to waste all 3 forges to recharge it. I just think it's a bit of a waste, personally, to want to recharge it after just 1 or 2 uses. If you haven't used all 3, why would you want to recharge it? But your choice, you can do whatever you want. You can recharge it even if it's full, if you just want to re-experience the entire thing. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm just going to do this, and I'm going to get myself 1 more diamond, because I have 1 more thing to show. By the way, you can actually grab these. I don't think I've shown that, which is stupid of me to do. You can move these around. There's no problem. The inactive core even keeps the amount of forges it has in it. So, like, if you hover it over it in the inventory, it tells you that you have the remaining forges. So that's pretty nice. You can carry it around. You don't have to keep it in one spot. The regular Nether Reactor also can be carried. It just feels natural. But there's one more stage of the Nether Reactor that I have to show. By the way, this is starting to branch off from the original Nether Reactor. This was not, like, you could not pick up the inactive core. That's one thing. That's one very big thing back in the thing. The way it used to work, if you broke any stage of the core, it would just drop a regular core, and you could just place it back down and restart it without any problem. I felt like that's a bit cheaty, and like you can just get infinite forges if you did that. So yeah, you have to recharge it with a diamond, which I need to get. 1 sec. Oh wow, I just found a diamond. I definitely went mining off camera. Okay, let me just actually try to get all 4 gold blocks for once. I don't think I've managed to get... Hey, there we go. I got all of them. But now we don't care, because we're gonna break this thing. And I'm actually gonna get the core so that it doesn't explode. Because once you've broken any piece of this... By the way, this was meant to be glowing obsidian. We just couldn't get that, for now at least. I'm not promising... that there is going to be glowing obsidian, but I'm not saying that it won't be ever. We have a texture. By the way, all these textures were made by one of Eggo's friends. I don't think I've met them, but all the textures of the Nether Reactor are actually updated to Japa style. So that's one neat feature that you might have missed. But yeah, now after breaking one of these magma blocks, or the core itself, you've obtained yourself an unstable core. Also, the day-night cycle has been stopped for a while, which is, if you can imagine, pretty bad. You cannot, even if you try to sleep, it's not gonna pass the daytime. You're just gonna be stuck in endless nighttime, and if we had mobs spawning, I'd be screwed right now. Like you can see, I'm sleeping and it's still the middle of the night. Yep, you cannot escape nighttime. Again, if there were mobs spawning, we'd be screwed, but I don't want to screw up this showcase world. So as you can see, we got ourselves an active core upon breaking it, and the active core is dangerous. As you can see, it says it's unstable in the status over there. And if I place it down, I'm gonna place it back down. You cannot reactivate this thing. It's bound to explode. As you can see, it explodes. And you've lost yourself the 3 diamonds that were the core. And now, I would tear this thing down by hand, but I'm just gonna leave it here. I don't mind the Nether Spire. Okay, I'm just gonna leave all this loot. By the way, recharging the core also grants you enough obsidian to make a portal, so you don't have to worry about going mining for obsidian. That's one very good little detail about this. You can just, once you're done with a core, you can just mine all the corners and it would be still enough to recharge it and also have enough for a portal. Yeah, you get the idea. You get a lot of netherrack, like I said, and all this loot, which was, well, interrupted. So yeah, that's pretty much it for like the general survival experience of the Nether Reactor and how it plays out in the general progression in survival. But yeah, you get a neat little enchantment, the primitive ways, and then you're able to continue as normal into the Nether. And while we're done with that, I would want to do one final thing and go over all the little properties of the Nether Reactor. Okay, so over here I have a little setup that is meant to be pretty much the general showcase area. That creeper's gone. There was supposed to be a creeper here. I'm just gonna... There we go. We're just gonna pretend that that creeper was there from the beginning. As I was saying, we have a little area over here, a showcase area, to go over all the properties of the Nether Reactors. So first things first, the game treats it as a solid block. You can see redstone goes through it. One thing that I did not test is like mob spawning on top of this. So yeah, I probably should have gone through all the steps that Exuma does, like, you know, whenever new blocks get added. I just went through all the things that I thought I'd go through. Over here, interactions with pistons. You cannot be pulled by sticky pistons, slime blocks, or honey blocks. and it can be broken by regular piston. You cannot move it. So where it's placed by a player, it stays. Next up, very minor feature, but I don't know who would use this, but it's like a bit interesting. Each state gives off a different power level. So you get 7 for a regular core, 15 for an active core, and 1 for inactive core. Interactions with nether reactors are detected by sculk sensors, but interestingly enough, are not considered player actions. As you can see, it does not trigger the shrieker over there, while if I just walk, the shrieker activates. No wardens are going to be spawning, don't worry. The next thing on the list is a bit of an error, I guess. It's not intentional. It's not an intentional feature. LAs can pick up nether reactors if you give them. Come on, get over here. You can see it can hold it very nicely, and if I just break this one over here, the LA will go, pick it up, and give it to me. Eventually. Thank you. However, one problem with this, with how the data pack is made, is the fact that LAs will confuse nether reactors for item frames for some reason. Unlike TNT, which always gives you a 100% drop chance, creepers have a chance to break blocks, but in the case of nether reactors, the nether reactor will be given back to you. So you don't have to worry about creepers blowing it up and you losing 3 diamonds. Although this is a solid block, it's considered transparent in one single case, and that is beacons. For some reason, beacons can pass through the nether reactor. One of the biggest custom features here that was not featured in Pocket Edition is the fact that an active core can be contained. As you can see, this active core here has a prime time of 5 seconds. AKA, in 5 seconds, this thing will explode. But it's not going down, because there's a redstone block next to it. If I remove this redstone block, you can see it starts smoking again, and the timer takes down. I'm gonna save that last second. I could have blown up right here. And the only way to reset the timer is to break the active core and place it back down, and it will remain at 5. And the redstone block is the only way to contain it. And last but not least, active cores are a special thing. So you know how they explode, right? Well, there's a special thing about them. And it's the fact that they become a very expensive underwater TNT. The explosions of nether reactors work underwater and under lava. It's just pretty expensive to blow stuff up underwater for 3 diamonds. It would cost you 3 diamonds per explosion. So I don't really know who would use that, but if you have diamonds to spend, Josh, you can blow stuff up underwater just fine with these things. So I think that is it about the nether reactors. I think I've gone through pretty much every little property of every state. So that pretty much wraps things up for the Nether Reactor Datapack. I really hope you enjoyed watching this little showcase that I put together for it. It's a tiny little data pack that I'm quite proud of how it turned out. Me and Eggo worked on it really hard, and especially bringing it over to 1.19. It was a bit of a hustle because it was very broken, as it's not really been touched. Like, I haven't updated it. We haven't updated it since 1.16, and running it on 1.17 and 1.18 would just be a whole mess. It would be broken and almost entirely. And it was fun bringing to 1.19 and making an official release of it with this video. But yeah, I really hope you enjoyed watching this little showcase, and also that you would enjoy playing around with the data pack, because once again, there's a download link in the description, or you might already be on the Planet Minecraft page while you're watching this. So be sure to leave a like, both on YouTube and on the Planet Minecraft page. And yeah, hope you enjoy. Once again, special thanks to Eggo for all the work they put into this data pack. I'm really glad that they helped me bring this to life. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye!